Hey there, code adventurers. Did you know that solving algorithms problems like today's longest palindromic substring can skyrocket your problem-solving skills in programming by 70%? Today is day 3 in our JavaScript challenge, and we are diving deep into the magic of palindromes. Stick with me, and by the end of this video, you'll be catching those elusive palindromes like a pro. Ready? Let's do it. Alright, imagine this. A palindrome is like a word that looks the same backward and forward. Cool, right? Today our goal is to find the longest palindromic substring inside a given string. We'll walk through a super efficient way to do this without breaking a sweat. And no need for any brute force, just some clever expansions trick. So let's go and get it done. Now, what is the problem? We are given a string and we need to find the longest substring that is a palindrome, meaning it reads the same backward as forward. For example, if you are given a string called BEBED, like we have right here, the longest palindrome is either BAB or ABA. Both are valid. Or if we get another substring like this example right here, the longest palindrome is just BB. Now the challenge is to find it fast because we can't afford to check every possible substring one by one. That will take us forever. Alright, here is how to solve this. We use something called expansion around the center. Sounds fancy, but let me break it down for you in 3 simple steps. The step number 1, we will loop through each character in the string, treating each one as the center of a potential palindrome. Step number 2, from each center we will try to expand outwards. We check if the characters on the left and the right are the same. And if they are, we are going to keep expanding. If not, we will stop and recode the palindrome we found so far. And in the step number 3, we need to handle both odd length palindromes like BAB and even length palindrome like BB. So for each character, we expand around it as a single center, and then we also expand between the two characters as well. Now, let's see what this means for us in our code. I created a function here that I'm canceling logging later with these values of the examples given above us to test them later. So first thing I want to do is check if the string I'm getting in my function argument, is it a single character? If it is, then it's already a palindrome. So let's check this. If the character s.length it is smaller or equal than 1, then return whatever character you have. Simple as that. So I'll add here a comment. If it is a single character, it is already a palindrome. Nice. Now, as for our fancy easy scenario. Okay, now we need 2 key variables. One to track where our longest palindrome starts in the string, and we will call it start. So let's declare that. Let's start, and we will initialize it with 0. And as I said, this one would be track where our longest palindrome starts in the string. Okay, now next variable will be to track how long that palindrome is. Okay, so the length of it. So how long the palindrome is, so the length. Okay, so I'll create a new variable, call it max length, and we'll start it with 1 because always you have 1 as the max length of anywhere, any letter, right? Any letter can be a palindrome for itself. And we'll initialize it with 1, and the reason why is because always 1 will be a palindrome. Any character, any single character is a palindrome of length of 1. So always we'll have 1 available there for us. Now, next thing is we need to expand around the center. Now, here where it gets really interesting. So imagine you're standing at each character in the string and try to expand outwards. Check if it is the center of a palindrome. So we will move left and right, checking if the characters are the same. If they are, we have found a palindrome and we expand further. Okay, so we need to create a little helper function. I will define it right here, function, and I'll call it expand around center. Okay, and this function will take 2 pointers as argument, the left and the right. Okay, so which starts at the center and expands outwards of the characters at left and right are the same. It means we are inside a palindrome, so we expand the pointers further. If they are different, then we stop, and this is how we can write our function. So it accepts 2 arguments, as I said, left and right. Okay, and we'll add a comment here, say keep expanding as long as the characters on both sides match. Okay, so how you can write this in code? So we use the while, and also while left is equal or greater than 0 and right is smaller, of course, than your character length, and also if the character on the left and on the right are the same, so s left is equal to s on the right. So if this condition is valid, what we will do, we'll calculate the length of the current palindrome. So what we will do, first thing, calculate the length of the current palindrome. So how you'll do that's very easy. You'll define a new variable, call it anything you like. I'll call it current length, and that will be, of course, right minus left pointer plus 1. Okay, so we'll check if our current length is greater than our previous max length, which has been stored here. Then we have to update this, of course. Okay, so that is a very simple and easy step. So all what we do is compare current length. Compare current length is greater than max length. If it's greater, then the max length will be appended a new value from our current length, and our pointer start will be now pointing to our left pointer. Okay, to be no more 0, to always be whatever your current index on that left pointer. Okay, now when this check done, what I want to do is move our left pointer 1 step to the left, so left minus, okay, and move our right pointer 1 step to the right, so right plus plus. Now we created our helper function. Now next thing we have to do is loop to our actual string and trigger this function. But there are 2 types of palindromes here we have to check, okay? Those which have an odd number of letters like A, B, A, and those with even numbers of letters like B, B. So to handle both, we need to run our expand function that we created right there twice for every character in our string here, okay? So once assuming that the palindrome has an odd center, expand around 1 character only, and once assuming it has an even center, expand around 2 characters. So we'll use the for loop to go through our string. So I'll create a new variable, which should be our index of characters, and I'll be looping as long my index is smaller than my character length, of course. And every time my loop finish, I'll increase it by 1 so I can move to my next character. So here what I will do basically, in every character, like I said, I need to trigger this helper function twice, okay? Assuming, because we don't know if it have odd or even length, so we will check both scenarios for each and every character. For example, if you have ABA, so what we'll do is the left pointer and right pointer will start on the same number, okay? So if your character is A, the left pointer and the right pointer will be A. But if when we trigger the second function, it will assume that it is an even length palindrome. So what we'll do, your left pointer will be A, but your right pointer will be starting from B. Okay, so from these two, it will start expanding outwards. I hope that makes sense. Now, this check for all possible palindrome centers and expand outwards to find the longest one. Now finally, after we have scanned through the whole string, we return the longest palindrome by slicing the string from the start to the start plus max length. Okay, so let's go do that. Return s.substring from start to start plus max length. Alright, let's see it in action, and I have console log here, the function with the strings we had in the example, and let's run it and see if that will work. Pam pam pam! Pretty cool, right? This algorithm smartly checks every possible center of the palindrome and quickly expands outwards to find the longest one, and it works fast too. So there we go, you have just learned how to solve one of the most fascinating problems in coding, finding the longest palindrome hidden inside a string. Whether the palindrome is odd or even, we have got it covered with our expand around center technique. It's a neat trick that you can use anytime. Now, it's your turn. Test this out with your own strings and drop a comment below with the longest palindrome you found. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because tomorrow's challenge is going to take your coding skills even further.